Across this short series, we are looking at what it looks like to spiritually prepare our young people for Limitless Festival. And I want to take the next few minutes just to encourage you to think about what it would look like to spiritually prepare our young people to embrace serving at Limitless Festival. In the book of Romans in the New Testament, chapter 12, there's this little phrase that comes out that I have always absolutely loved. And we often use this as a verse that we bring to our young people when we're leading them towards the Limitless Festival. And the phrase is this: look to outdo one another in honor. Look to outdo one another in honor. I've always looked at this verse a little bit competitively. It's who I am. And I always try to think about what it would look like if we embraced this on a competitive level. Like, what would it look like if we were looking to actively outdo one another in honor at all times, looking to honor one another consistently in our lives? And we bring this to our young people when it looks at serving at Limitless Festival. You might be thinking, Sean, why would we be trying to encourage our young people to serve at Limitless Festival? You know, our hearts are on maybe bigger topics at the moment of wanting to see people get saved and healed and all these kind of things that we really want to see take place at Limitless Festival. But I have actually found this session to be really engaging with our young people because it flips the narrative of this consumeristic thinking. How do we encourage our young people to embrace the element of giving? To embrace the understanding of actually we have something to bring as well as to take. We know at Limitless Festival that God has done, and we pray He will continue to do wonderful things in young people's lives. We pray for salvations and signs and wonders and healings to take place. Of course we do. We pray for your young people to come and receive all that God has got for them. But could there be a conversation that you could have with your young people that says, let's just stop for a session, just for this moment, and let's look at what it would mean to serve one another whilst we're at Limitless Festival. What would this look like in our meal times, in our breakfasts, in our lunches, and in our dinners when we're serving one another with food? Could it look like serving in regards to cleaning up and washing, or in regards to giving each other food? Or could it look differently across Limitless Festival when we come into the auditoriums and we engage in the football activities and the sports and all the things that's going on? What would it look like to have a posture of service? I want to tell you really quickly about some of the things that our young people decided they wanted to do as a result of the conversation around what it looks like to follow Jesus in serving His people. After a conversation with our young people, we started to look at, well, what would it look like to serve? And our young people started to brainstorm, and we got people around tables in our youth night, and we started to ask the question, well, we're going to festival in a few weeks' time. How can we serve one another? How can we serve the wider family, the Limitless family? And our young people started to kind of brainstorm a whole load of ideas, and lots of things like acts of kindness started to come up from our young people. And we've done it for a few years now in a row, and I want to tell you quickly just about 3 things that I saw our young people do as they decided that they wanted to serve whilst they're at Limitless Festival. The first one was this: our young people said, can we arrive slightly earlier to set up our tents? And then once we've setting up our tents, we've got our campsite ready, can we then go around to neighboring youth groups and ask them, hey, can I help you with setting up your tents? Now, it was a brilliant idea. I was really encouraged, and we went for it. And then we realized on the day we arrived at Limitless Festival this one year, it was throwing it down with rain. And it was the most delightful and encouraging start to a Limitless Festival to see our young people not only set up their own tents, but then afterwards to put their coats on, to put up their hoods, and to go around to other youth groups and say, hey, it looks like you're struggling with your tent. Can we just help you put up this tent? And just in that moment was one simple act of serving that our young people decided they wanted to do. The following year, there was something else they wanted to do, and this time it was at the end of Limitless Festival. The young people in our youth group, they just started to say, well, could we help with some of the litter around the campsite? We imagine there might be lots of crisp packets and drinks and stuff around, and could we just stay an extra hour once we've packed up all our things, we've got it on the coach, could we then for an hour just go around and see if we can tidy and help tidy? And we decided that was what we were going to do, and it was amazing to see our young people pack the coach full of all the tent equipment and everything, and then just have a quick breather And then our young people just got black bin bags. They went round and they just started putting litter in these bin bags and then took them to where all the bins were. And it was just incredible to see our young people once again wanting to give back to something that they have received from. Another one is a little bit smaller, but again, just as powerful. Our young people decided that at one stage at Limitless Festival, there was a communal dining hall, and they just decided that they wanted to help wash up some of the pots, the pans, and the dishes of where the young people were eating. So one by one, our young people just went around and they just helped individually cleaning up the pots and pans and the dishes, the knives and forks of other youth groups that had started to have their food. One simple act of service can make a massive difference to the posture for someone's heart to receive all that God has for them. What does this look like for your youth group? How can you encourage serving at Limitless Festival this year?